Giving Day.
Well,
What happened? What happened to our little Ryan?
Well, when my Uncle Bill and my Uncle Chris asked if I want to watch football with them, I don't say no.
Okay.
So,
Because I'm not I'm not a recluse anymore.
So if you have uncles that are big sports fans, do you get some creds? Are you like, hey, I'm actually kind of a sports show? It's syndicated.
Well, I don't.
Statewide.
Well, I don't want this to be a sports show.
Second game this season that Honors had 8 threes. Second time he's had 8 threes, and his coach has pulled him out with over 4 minutes to go.
You're up 40.
Yeah, but coach just does not want to see him get that record.
There may have been a discussion about that on exactly where he was in the number.
Did you let him know this time?
But there was a discussion about where he was with the number. But at the end of the day, Ross decided the juice not worth the squeeze there. With 3.5 minutes left is when he pulled him out after the timeout there. And listen, that's a guy with a lot of minutes on his in his body. You need to rest him. But 2 out of 11, you got to think maybe he's going to approach that again. Here's what's wild. In those 2 games where he's just been one off of Alex Ruoff's record, he's now a combined 16 of 20 from 3 in those 2 games. So he didn't just make 8 threes, guys. He was 8 of 11 last night. He was 8 of 9 when he did it before. 16 of 20 combined in those 2 games.
Across this great state of West Virginia, welcome in high school game nights. I chuckle a little bit, folks, because it said early edition.
As compared to the
Only
rest
edition.
of the edition, yeah.
Yeah. Tonight is going to be interesting, to say the least.
10 seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
You had a moment of clarity about when it all started to make sense for you?
It did, because I didn't want to be a filmmaker growing up. I didn't even know what filmmaking was growing up. I used to watch Oprah and Katie Couric, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be you. And I worked at West Virginia University's radio station, had a very thick accent. People would call in and make fun of me. And so I asked my roommates, my college roommates who were from Baltimore, to teach me how to talk differently.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a loss, I feel, from that. And it's probably one of the reasons why I love documenting people that are authentic. Like, I don't know if I'm authentic, but I think the people I find are very authentically who they are, and that's what draws me to them.
Five, 3, 1.
Red 57, Red 57, hot.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a
great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for a Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Wiggs. Greg Hunter's alongside. Good evening.
Good evening, Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
We are going to, a little bit later on, just a few minutes, we're going to jump into the preview of West Virginia against Arizona State men's basketball and even the women's game. Because while the Mountaineer men are playing at Arizona State, the WV women are hosting Arizona State. So Chris Karpman of Sun Devil Source will join us, and he follows these programs closely. He'll be at the game at ASU tomorrow night, and we'll take a look into this Arizona State program. And it's interesting. Bobby Hurley's been there a long time. This is 11 years. This is the last year of his contract, though. They did not have a successful year. In fact, they had a very poor year last year, their first year in the Big 12. And this year's team, it's tough to get a read on because it's completely new, like West Virginia, almost completely rebuilt, just one or two holdovers from last year's team. And they're 1-4 in the league, 1-3 in the league, but the three losses have all been against teams that were at the time ranked in the top 10 and all on the road. Their one home game, they won over Kansas State in the conference.
You're right. I mean, you go to BYU, Arizona, and Houston. Odds are most teams are going to lose.
Right.
West Virginia has found out the difficulty of Houston on the road as well. So we'll see. Very interesting and impactful game, I think, for both these teams tomorrow night. How exactly the season goes. These are the type of games that if you find ways to win, you ultimately can be a team that fights for an NCAA tournament when it's all said and done. Doesn't mean you'll get there, but you can fight for it. But you lose these toss-up type games, makes it that much more difficult. Not impossible, but difficult.
And again, 3 out of the next 4, you've got Arizona State and Arizona back-to-back on the road, and then you follow that up with back-to-back home games with Kansas State and Baylor, two teams that are struggling to get wins in this league. So this is a stretch where you can make some strides and accumulate some wins, and it would be impressive and very important to win on the road for the first time tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's a great statement. This is the one thing this team hasn't done is win a true road game. So this is the type of opportunity that you have, and you're going to need some within this conference, and finding those is not easy because I don't care who you are in the Big 12. Every one of them is good enough to win, especially at home. There is not an easy home win against a team. So if you can find a way to do that tomorrow night, and we'll see. It seems like West Virginia is playing better, but now they've got to prove it on the road.
And again, we'll talk with Chris about the Arizona State women's team. Interesting because they've got a West Virginia native in Marley Washnitz, who transferred there from Pitt after 3 years. She's playing her senior year at Arizona State, and what a high school player she was. She was 2-time State Player of the Year, 2,000-point scorer, was All-State, first-team All-State all 4 years, was on a state championship team as a freshman, and I believe she was all-tournament all 4 years. Fairmont Senior played in the finals 3 times when she was there and won a state championship. And Marley Washnitz transferred to Arizona State, which at the time, over the summer, you thought, well, that's an interesting fit. But Arizona State has a first-year coach in Molly Miller, and they've really turned things around. Although they're not ranked, they're having an excellent season in women's basketball. It's 17-2, and Marley has started every game and is currently, I believe, 4th on the team in scoring. So she's having a good senior season, and we'll talk all of that over with Chris Karpman coming up in just a couple of minutes. Before we get there, we invite your text, 304-TALK-304, anything concerning tomorrow night's games or last night's game, the national championship game. And, Greg, did it help psychologically at all? I mean, just a little bit that Miami got beat in part because of a blocked punt for a touchdown. I mean, was there any therapeutic value in that at all?
No, none whatsoever. Until it's actually West Virginia that gets the win and the payback and all that. No, but it is apropos, I guess, in a lot of ways that was a big factor in Miami's loss. But that's just sort of Indiana, and I've watched Indiana a good bit this year just because of the the relationship. Yeah. But they actually, I thought, made more mistakes in that game than they've made. I mean, just, a false start that was a killer late and, a few penalties here and there.
2 penalties, that late hit on the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, things that they just have rarely done. But in the end, they find a way to make plays, whether it's the block punt for the touchdown, Fernando Mendoza with quarterback draw for the touchdown, ultimately the interception to seal it at the end. They just, all season, made the play they needed to. And while they did make some mistakes, Miami made just as many, if not more.
Yeah, well, 2 defenses. Indiana, everybody talked about Miami's defense coming in, and they lived up to the billing, particularly those 2 pass rushers. What a game Akeem Mesidor had.
Yeah.
And Indiana's defense, though, was right there. It covers up a multitude of mistakes when you have a defense that can just snuff people out. And Fernando Mendoza won the Heisman Trophy, was the best player in college football, and made the play at the end. I know Signetti joked on the Big Ten Network last night that they drew that play up in the dirt. So we were drawing stuff up in the dirt on 4th down. But, I mean, what a storybook. It was beyond a Hollywood script. Indiana, the worst team in college football, the losingest team in college football. They come out of nowhere, hadn't won a bowl game in decades. They have a great season last year. They win all their games this year, knock off Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, get the first overall seed, and then proceed to waylay their first playoff opponents, and then have a game in the championship that comes down to the Heisman Trophy winning player making arguably the biggest play of the season. Maybe the throw in the back of the end zone in the Penn State game was the play in college football this year, but his quarterback draw, lunging and taking a huge pop right at the goal line and hanging onto the football to go up by 2 scores and ultimately win the national championship. I mean, that's a movie with the way the entire season and the last 2 seasons have transpired for Indiana.
He's been so good this year. They got great quarterback play last year, but Mendoza took him to a different level when he transferred in from Cal. And, I mean, he's going to be a high NFL draft choice, but who knows what his pro future holds, because you just never know.
Well, he showed a lot in his leadership and his toughness. I mean, it was clear that Miami's defensive game plan was to take him out.
Yeah.
Take him out. He took shots. He took a handful of after the cheap shots, and just kept coming back.
Yeah, give him a lot of credit. Give Indiana credit overall from head coach Curt Cignetti, who obviously has turned around, as you said, the worst Division I college program in history to a team that just a couple years after his arrival wins a national championship. And again, I'll admit there's bias there as a former classmate and teammate, but he deserves all the accolades he gets, because it's the most amazing coaching job I know about. And I know people say Bill Snyder at Kansas State as well. Okay, he did a great job, but Curt Cignetti just won a national championship in year 2.
16-0. And in 2 years, took that program from absolute obscurity to now they're the champions. And again, they spent a lot of money. I understand that. Money well spent, obviously. And another thing he said on the Big Ten Network after the game, I just kind of on a fluke found that. I was flipping around and found that interview. He just kind of walked up behind the Big Ten Network had studio guys out there. There was 4 of them at a desk, and he just kind of wandered up and was on his way to the locker room, and they said, "Hey, Coach, give us 5 minutes." And it was a very insightful interview for a lot of things. And one of the things he said was, "We don't have as much NIL as you think," which, again, I'm sure with all of the revenues a Big Ten program has, they spent a lot of money on that football team, obviously, and they've already spent a lot of money next year with Hoover, the quarterback, and all of that.
And others.
But he also had a wonderful tribute to his father at that moment, and then he kind of repeated some of the things he said about his father at the formal news conference. But he said to the Big Ten guys, he said, "You're going to make me cry now." But he talked about, he talked about his father being ill and battling through that and being just a tremendous role model. And he said, "My dad was the best." And he did almost break down, and then he walked off set and went in the locker room. But I just thought that was about as insightful of a post-game interview, kind of spur of the moment, as you'll see.
Yeah, no. Again, and he's handled. I mean, again, the media attention for something like that, you just sort of accept it. But I mean, he was at James Madison, Indiana, Elon. That didn't prepare him for the national attention he's gotten, some last year and just over the top this year, and great for him. And I know people are saying, well, you know what? They used a lot of money. I don't care how much NIL they actually spent. It's legal. Nobody has shown me anything that says what they do or what they've done to build what they have is against the rules. Well, there are no rules anymore, but I think they did it right. If others don't like it, do what they did.
Right.
Follow that path.
But, it's hard not to root for them because, if it could happen in Indiana, and again, I know they spent a lot of money, but you're going to have, no matter where you are, to get to that level and compete, you're going to have to spend a lot of money. So you think about, well, if it could happen at Indiana, maybe it could happen here someday.
And you get to
anywhere.
Spend your money wisely.
Right,
they put a lot of money into their offensive line. I mean, and a lot of people think you got to have skill guys. I don't know what Mendoza got, but I'm sure he got something. But he went a Heisman Trophy winner at Cal. He was a good player. But I mean, you look up and down their line, a lot of guys he brought with him from James Madison. I doubt they were,
high dollar guys.
Yeah, exactly. And he knew he found a way to get guys that really bought into what he wanted to do and fit in, scheme wise and then mentality wise with what he did. So give him credit for building that. Sustaining it is never easy, but what they've done is remarkable, and I will, I certainly respect the heck out of Indiana as a whole, and certainly what Kurt put together.
304 Talk, 304 Text. We'll get to them later. We'll take a break. When we return, Chris Karpman of Sun Devil Source, he will join us, and we'll preview tomorrow night's basketball games, plural, the Mountaineer men and the Mountaineer women against Arizona State. We'll take a break. We've got more from the CityNet statewide sports line coming up after this. When it comes to cybersecurity, CityNet has you covered. Their expert team monitors, detects, and protects your network 24/7. Keep your business secure with CityNet Cyber Suite solutions. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
We're expanding our ultra-fast fiber network across West Virginia, bringing reliable, lightning-fast internet to more homes every day. With plans up to 10 gig, you'll enjoy unbeatable speed for streaming, gaming, and working from home. And right now, new customers get 50% off any plan for their first year, now as low as $25 a month. No contracts, free installation, local support you can count on. Check availability today at citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
The Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show returns to Milan Park in Morgantown March 7th and 8th. Over 100,000 square feet of campers and RVs, boats and ATVs, hunting and fishing supplies, guns, knives, and more. Limited vendor space is now available. To put your products and services in front of over 10,000 outdoor enthusiasts, visit WVOutdoorSportsShow.com. The 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, presented by Can-Am, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown, a WVRC Media event.
We are there for you to care for you at the health plan.
The health plan is still growing, giving you a large network of doctors, friendly and helpful customer service representatives, and competitive, flexible pricing plans that meet your needs. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
It's Toyotathon, and we're determined to make this the best one yet. Starting now, when you purchase any brand new Tundra or Tacoma, you'll drive away with a personalized Dan Cava Yeti cooler. This December, unwrap incredible deals like 2.99% for 72 months on 2026 Tundras. Snow, sleet, or holiday travel, your perfect winter ride is waiting for you. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
CityNet statewide Sportsline for this Tuesday evening. Kyle Wiggs and Greg Hunter in Morgantown. The WVU basketball teams each play Arizona State tomorrow night. Mountaineer men on the road at ASU. And the nationally ranked WVU women will host Arizona State on Wednesday. With us to talk about it, Chris Karpman from SunDevilSource.com. He's the owner and publisher of SunDevilSource.com. And Chris, we really appreciate your time again tonight. Thanks.
My pleasure. Glad to be with you.
Let's talk about this Arizona State program under Bobby Hurley. Had it going there pre-pandemic, it looked like. Had 321 seasons in a row. But since then, it's leveled off a little bit. So what is the state of the program, and how much did the move into the Big 12 Conference last year affect what's going on there at Arizona State?
Yeah, I think Hurley and ASU were a little bit slow out of the gates to react to the NIL changes in college basketball. Sun Devils haven't entirely resourced him very well. They play in a outdated arena, and booster support isn't as good as a lot of the Big 12 teams. And I think they went through a period where those things, coupled with the lack of maybe just an understanding of the role that he personally needed to play in spearheading booster support, contributed to a lot of transfers. So he's done a great job over the years, really throughout his tenure, at being able to find and acquire talent. But then in the last several years, he's lost a lot of his best players transferring to other schools. And this past season, the first year in the Big 12, he had Jaden Clemens and Joe Santanen and others who were star players or young, really emerging freshmen. and though he lost pretty much all those guys, and so he has a roster that has 14 new scholarship players out of 15. There's only one player who is returning to the team, and that's Trevor Best, who's like their 8th or 9th guy in the rotation.
So with that said and done, give us your thoughts on this year's team. They've 10-8 overall. Most of their losses are to really good teams, but what do you think of this club this year from what you've seen?
Well, Hurley did a very good job, given all the circumstances of being in the final year of his contract and losing everybody to transfer, putting together an international roster that can be very competitive. They have like 7 or 8 players from other countries who have meshed reasonably well together, and then add to that Mo Odom, who's a veteran point guard from Pepperdine, who was like 3rd in the country last year in assists, and they had a very good non-conference until they lost their last game to Oregon State, which was a quad 4 loss at home, which is really devastating because those are the types of losses you can't have. And then in the Big 12, people understand, like, it's enormously difficult just about every night. They lost a game at home that they probably shouldn't have, and they were very competitive against Arizona on the road last week, and then got blown out by Houston. So, for the most part, they played reasonably well to good. They've had some lapses and some moments where their youth or their lack of experience has caused some issues.
We talk about the freshmen, and the 2 top freshmen on this year's team are the big guys. Masamba Diop at 6'11", a freshman who has got a ton of block shots, 32 block shots, the second leading scorer. And Gerbovic, am I saying that one right, at 6'9", the freshman who has been a part-time starter. Talk about those individuals, and I guess that's kind of how this team's built around those 2 big players, those 2 young guys.
Yeah, exactly. The names are kind of difficult. These international players, Masamba Diop and Gerbovic are the 2 guys we're talking about. Diop was like 2 weeks ago. He was part of the Big 12 starting 5, the all conference for the week, and he's been the team's best player for the last month or so as a freshman. Now, he's an older freshman. He's 21. He played. He's from Senegal. He played professional basketball in Spain, like a lot of these guys kind of do nowadays at a lower level. But he's a guy with NBA upside for sure. He's 7 foot, runs the floor, great passer, good hands and feet, plays above the rim, shot blocker. He's getting more of a sense of urgency to finish with physicality around the basket offensively. Gerbovic is a stretch 4, shoots the ball primarily from the perimeter. And then they have another big, Santiago Truitt, who's 6'10" or 6'11". So ASU is very big. Their front court starters, when they're fully healthy, they usually are 6'10", 6'10", 7'1". But the Gerbovic and Truitt, they have enough mobility and range from a coverage standpoint defensively to not be liabilities out there. And so a lot of their success comes down to if those guys make shots, Truitt and Gerbovic, to open the floor up for Masamba Diop to work on the interior end and the pick and roll actions with Mo Odom. That's kind of how ASU finds success offensively.
So those are young guys, Chris. The old guy, though, Mo Odom, is on his 3rd school. He'll have his 100th start, if I'm reading the stat sheet correctly, when West Virginia comes to town tomorrow night. So he's put together nice numbers this year, and you look what he's done in the last 10, 12 games. He had a high of, 36 against Texas? So, there have been some nights he's been very good. So how important is he? What kind of player is he?
Yeah, so he was the all-tournament team at the Maui Invitational. Great game against Texas. That was his best game of the season. I didn't realize that he could shoot the ball as well as he has. He gets very hot sometimes where he causes nightmares because he's such a creative passer. When teams chase over or they really kind of flash those ball screens, if you blitz them or if you go over them, he has the ability to hit the rollers and the cutters at a very high level. Like, he's a borderline elite passer, and he's had double-digit assist games as a result of that. But then the teams who have challenged him to make threes by sagging under, against a lot of those teams, he's made them pay by making a lot of shots. So you have to make decisions about how you're going to defend the pick and roll actions that he's in, or the ISO stuff, because he can get to where he wants on the floor and cause a lot of problems. And that just gets animated to a whole different level when ASU is able to shoot the ball well from the perimeter.
Guy we haven't mentioned yet is another transfer, and it seems like Coach Hurley and his staff found a gem at the NAIA level. Anthony Johnson comes in. He's tied for second in scoring, and he gets to the free throw line a ton. So, again, Anthony Johnson moving up from the NAIA level to have this type of success in the best basketball conference in the country. He seems to have maybe overperformed a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at how well he's done, despite the fact that he was like a player of the year type of a guy. NAIA to ASU directly has never happened, to the best of my knowledge. And he is a very impressive transition athlete. He's kind of wiry and not that big or strong looking, but he will go attack the rim and dunk on you. And he's a good, a good creative driver in the half court. Like, he's a bucket getter type of a guy when you need it. And he just kind of has a way of a knack of scoring the ball. So he takes pressure off of Odom. If teams are defending Odom well, it usually creates opportunities for Johnson. His nickname is Pig Johnson. His mom said he always got dirty playing outside when he was young. So that's where it comes from.
Good story.
Yeah.
So overall, again, statistically, you look at Arizona State, they can score. They average over 80 points a game, but it looks like defensively they give up about 80 points a game as well, and they're one of the lower end of the Big 12 in that statistical category. Is it defensive questions, or what's the issue there? What's caused them losses?
Yeah, primarily defensive issues, and especially giving up too many offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities against good opponents. You have to be able to limit those teams that are more talented than you to one trip. And ASU has not been able to do that. A lot of it, I think, is just a competitive fire that dial needing to stay on a higher notch throughout games. They have periods where the intensity will wane just a little bit, and that's all it takes against some of these better teams. So better effort on the glass, also transition. Sometimes they can lose guys or not get back as hard and aggressively as they need to, and then those things cause some other problems. But when they're able to kind of tidy up those things, communicate well, box out, that coupled with their typical offense, that makes it hard on even really good teams.
What type of crowd will be there tomorrow night, and what, if any, home court advantage does ASU have?
Yeah, they've been probably around 8,000, 9,000, I would say, average. It's, when the students with being back in session will make it a little bit tougher than it's been in recent weeks when a lot of them are gone for break. The atmosphere is probably not as good as most places in the Big 12, but this isn't like a library by any stretch. And if ASU's playing well, there's going to be felt by the opponent. Probably better crowds actually than I had expected given the circumstances around the team and Bobby Hurley.
Mm-hmm.
So same night that the Arizona State West Virginia men's teams play at 9 o'clock Eastern, So what's that, 5 o'clock your time. A couple hours ahead of that, Arizona State and West Virginia play in Morgantown on the women's side. First-year coach Molly Miller has put together at least a really impressive 17-2 record to this point. A lot of transfers on her team as well. You look at the roster. So how good is this women's team that West Virginia is going to be hosting tomorrow night at 7?
Yeah, quite surprisingly good. She inherited a mess. The last season, the team had a lot of cultural problems, internal strife, and never even got off the ground. And so she had to. Molly Miller, had a lot of success at Grand Canyon, which is just, about 15, 20 miles away from ASU in Phoenix. And she just has this energy, this super high energy level and passion that just jumps kind of off of everything that she does. And she brought in, I think, 9 Division I transfers. Most of their team is new, and they're just extremely competitive. Their defense, its intensity, especially on the defensive end, is palpable. And I think that they're not more talented than a lot of the teams that they're going up against, but they execute well on offense, and they play with a tremendous fire. And that's led to better outcomes than I think pretty much anybody expected so far. They were one of the last undefeated remaining teams in the country. There were only maybe 10 or 12 teams that were still undefeated when they lost their first game.
And Marley Washnitz grew up and played about 20 miles from our studio here in Morgantown. She is from Fairmont, and we talked about her before we brought you on, and our listeners know her resume. So how has Marley fit in as a senior?
That's been a huge boost in addition. She is somebody who personifies, I think, to a large degree, that ethos that Molly Miller has with the passion and the intensity and the high communication and the ability to kind of direct everybody on the floor and make sure that they're all on the same page. She's probably the architect, I would say, of that, an extension of the coach on the floor. And while she's skilled and she's a good player, but I would say much more so it is the intangibles and the approach and attitude that she brings that has had a infectious carryover to the rest of the roster.
Well, that's great to hear. Good scouting report, and thank you for helping us get caught up with Marley and the type of season she's had as a senior. Chris, you've been very generous with your time. We really appreciate it, and we hope you enjoy tomorrow night's game, and hopefully we'll do it again.
Sounds good. My pleasure. Thanks.
Chris Karpman, owner and publisher of SunDevilSource.com. Chris Karpman of SunDevilSource.com with the scouting report of Arizona State, men's and women's. The women's team 17-2, and again, kind of coming out of nowhere because they're not even getting votes in the AP poll. They receive votes in the coaches poll, but not ranked in either poll despite that 17-2 record.
Yeah, but certainly seemingly will be a very big challenge for Mark Kellogg's team here tomorrow night at the Coliseum. But like I said, 2 hours after that tip, the men go in Tempe.
We'll take a break. We'll get to the text, 304-TALK 304. Reminder that Tudor's Biscuit World sponsoring the Metro News High School Basketball Poll. The first poll is at WVMetroNews.com. We'll update that poll coming up on Friday. Click on the High School Sports tab, then the High School Basketball Rankings, the 2025 Metro News Power Rankings in basketball presented by Tudor's Biscuit World. And we will return to the CityNet statewide sports line coming up.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps. And never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
Diabetes is the most common endocrine disease in the U.S., and WVU Medicine endocrinologists offer comprehensive care for this chronic disease. We also treat parathyroid, pituitary, thyroid, reproductive, and adrenal gland conditions. Trust WVU Medicine's fellowship-trained and board-certified endocrinologists to provide world-class care for all endocrine disorders. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/endocrinology.
On January 23rd, our students, faculty, and staff will talk with lawmakers at the annual Fairmont State University Day at the Capitol. We'll share with them our substantial contribution to the region's economic development. Did you know that for every dollar Fairmont State receives in state appropriations, we generate over $8 in economic impact? Last year alone, we generated $170 million in total economic impact for West Virginia. Fairmont State University never rests when it comes to making West Virginia a great place to call home.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
The weather's getting cooler, but our deals are only getting hotter. 2026 Tundras now up to $5,000 off and 2.99% for 72 months. Fall looks better in a new Toyota from Dan Calva Toyota World. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Steich Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. We believe retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email steich-info@wealthenhancement.com.
Sitting at statewide Sportsline for Tuesday. Kyle and Greg with you. The Mountaineer team, as we speak, traveling into Arizona and into Tempe. So Brad not available tonight, but he will be with us at least for a segment the rest of the week. Tomorrow night, game day for the Mountaineers at Arizona State. We'll get the thoughts of Brad prior to West Virginia leaving for the arena. We'll get his post-game thoughts on Thursday. We'll look ahead to the matchup with Arizona, which is Saturday, but he'll join us on Friday. Also this week, we're scheduled to be joined by Mountaineer baseball coach Steve Sabins. Their big fundraising leadoff dinner is Saturday, although a big snowstorm is supposed to hit
hopefully
on Saturday.
That allows them to get their fundraiser in, but hard as it is to believe, We are 1 month away from West Virginia.
They're practicing.
They've been practicing for a little while. Kyle, I mean, you've been to a lot of baseball games. I've done a lot of softball and baseball. To me, there's nothing more miserable than cold weather, baseball or softball. But that's Sabins, and before him, Randy Mazey says that what makes his team tough is they don't avoid the weather. They'll be out there as long as they can shovel their way onto the field.
Yeah, and I mean they're practicing in the evening after dark when it's really cold. So I'm sure most of the work's getting done inside, no doubt. But still, anyway, Steve Sabins will join us on Thursday for about 10 minutes. That's, again, they're practicing during this window, but he wants to get the word out about the event on Saturday, and we get a couple of texts per week asking how the team's going to be. So we'll ask the coach on Thursday. And then Friday, WVU gymnastics coach Jason Butts will join us. There's a very unique event, and again, hopefully the weather won't affect this, but we talked about it last night, the Beauty and the Beast wrestling/gymnastics event is scheduled for the Coliseum on Saturday. The Mountaineer wrestlers will compete against Wyoming. The WVU gymnastics team will compete against Denver, and that is Saturday evening, and Coach Jason Butts scheduled to join us Friday for a preview of that event.
I've been to that event because this isn't the first time West Virginia's held that. I've been to that event in the Fest, and it is really cool because it's so unique, you know? One side of the court is gymnastics, and then the other side of the court's wrestling match, and they both go on.
Yeah, they just go.
And I mean, hopefully the weather's good enough to not only allow the event to happen, but bring in good crowds. Because the ones I've been to, the crowds have been really, really good. Will you be there?
Yes, I'll be there.
Saturday?
I'll be doing the wrestling portion on TV on ESPN Plus. So yes, I'll be there. To the text line we go, 304 Talk 304. Texter says, I'm reading that players from last night's college football game are entering the portal. So is the portal open to these players?
Yes, there is a caveat for everybody else, from I know. We know that the portal closed end of last week. But for those that are in the national championship game, they get 5 days after that championship game, thus to enter the portal. So it expands for them, which is, understandable and appropriate in my opinion.
304 Talk 304. Texter says he thinks he remembers you saying that Cignetti wouldn't get a Power 5 job because of his age. Did you say that?
I don't remember saying that. I mean, I did say that his age was a factor. I mean, he's now 64, but you can coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's ever – I don't know. You say a lot of things on this show.
That doesn't seem like something you'd say, though, is my point. But you're right. I mean, Google him.
Yeah.
Right? 304 Talk 304. Texter says, I was happy for Indiana, but watching them celebrate was bittersweet. It reminded me how close West Virginia was to having that moment in the 89 Fiesta Bowl if Major didn't get hurt.
Yeah, that one. There are others.
Yeah, there's
the 93 team could have been there.
The Pitt game.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. 07. So they've had a few opportunities come up short, but that's, sometimes you need the disappointment to make rising to the mountain so much sweeter.
Yeah. Texter wants to know if Curt Cignetti is in the MHS Athletic Hall of Fame. If not, he needs to go in.
That's a good question. I don't know that for certain. I know.
I'll see if I can find out.
Yeah. Good question.
I'll see if I can find out.
He was a good player. I mean, he deserves to go in on his playing status alone. Not that he's the best Mohegan football player ever, honestly, but he was very good. And obviously what he's done since he got into coaching right after he left WVU has been incredible.
I'll see if I can have an answer to that by the end of the week. 304 Talk 304. IU roster had been reported at $21 million. Not sure if it's true, but who cares? Great coaching job. Those players bought in. Very happy the U went down, as argued.
Yeah, I think most West Virginia fans were not. There are few. I know there are some people in the state that root for Miami, but most do not. And I think they were just as happy to see them lose as Indiana win.
Texter says Curt looks younger than 64. He does. I think he does.
He's the only one member of my class that still does not have gray hair.
or still has hair.
Yeah.
304 Talk 304 texter asked, do you have any sense of how he feels about WVU? I assume the way things ended with his father left a scar, but I don't hear him talk about West Virginia much.
No, I mean, after he graduated WVU, he's never been on the staff. I don't know how, because he's never said anything to me about it in our discussions, that he has bitter feelings about how his dad was let go. But you also have to be realistic that's not easy to stomach, to see your dad, who's battling through the health situations that he was at the end of his time at WVU, to get let go. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's understandable, but he's never, at least to me, in those that I know, he's never brought that up.
Texter says it was totally lost on me, the fact that Miami got beat on a blocked punt. Thanks for bringing that up. Well, I helped him feel better.
Yeah,
I thought maybe you could just get like a scintilla of little relief from your angst a little bit. I must admit that when I heard that Tremaine Mack brought a smile to my face. Same texture, didn't realize that Malachi Toney was a Mountaineer legacy. Yep. Imagine if we had that kid, Gino's cousin at Ohio State, and Rocco Beck this past season, how different it could have turned out. Hopefully Rich can change that trend in the future.
I agree. You look at those legacy guys and just wonder how it would have worked out. So I guess the DNA is proven. Malachi Toney's dad, of course, we mentioned this before, former Mountaineer receiver Anthony Brown, or Antonio Brown. But you know what? Especially Gino's cousin and him, they were incredibly high-level recruits, among the best in the country, and the odds of them coming to West Virginia at that point were probably slim.
Got to get a break in. We'll finish off with the text coming up. Since 1979, the health plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The health plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan.
The health plan is still growing, giving you a large network of doctors, friendly and helpful customer service representatives, and competitive, flexible pricing plans that meet your needs. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps, and never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
On the next State of Minds,
people appreciate cool tattoos and they appreciate good tattoos. It's a way to make yourself different.
What do you think would fit me?
I think a ninja. A ninja with 2 swords.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
Final segment, CityNet statewide Sportsline for this Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Cleaning up the text line here. Texter wants to know from Coach Hunter who won the state football championship when Signetti was playing.
Well, the same years I was playing. So our junior year, Beckley beat Fairmont Senior. I'm going by memory here. Should look this up. Senior year, it was Parkersburg.
City of Champions there.
Yeah.
Parkersburg.
They were on a roll.
Big Reds and Fairmont Senior. Before the loss of population in Marion County, there were stretches where they were as good as anybody in football.
No, you're exactly right. So some really good teams and really good players in those. I mean, a ton. West Virginia ended up with their fair share, but some of them went to out-of-state schools and were very significantly good as well.
304 Talk 304 Texter says Coach Nealon had to be smiling at the way the block punt just helped decide the game last night.
Brought back bad memories for him too.
Yeah, that was. I'm not going to bring that up maybe ever again.
Yeah.
For your sake. Last one. Texter says, laughing out loud. My wife and I were commenting about Signetti's hair and clearly coloring his hair at 64. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know that for a fact. So as a journalist, I can't say. I just know all the other people from the Morgantown High class of 1979 are either gray or do color their hair.
Okay. Or bald.
Yeah.
Or they've lost their hair.
Completely, yep.
We hope you'll continue to join us this week. We'll talk more about the West Virginia-Arizona State matchup tomorrow night. Again, baseball coach Steve Sabins will join us at the end of the show Thursday. Gymnastics coach Jason Butts will join us Friday to talk about the Beauty and the Beast event on Saturday. Maybe you can check that out before you get snowed in. We'll be back tomorrow night on the Sportsline.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.